does anyone really know about leprosy? By the end of my speech, I will have informed you on what leprosy is and where it came from. While we do not see leprosy as often anymore, it was once a big issue. Today I will introduce to you what leprosy is, where it came from, and what effects it has on the body. Global health issues happen far more often than we realize. Leprosy happens to be one of those. Have you ever wondered what life would be like if you had a disease that made you suffer physically, mentally, and emotionally? Hello everyone, I am Lucretia. Many people are going into the medical field, and at some point you may come across leprosy, which is also known as Hansen's disease. Leprosy, although then was not called that, was once discussed in the Bible in Leviticus 13, making leprosy the oldest known disease to mankind. Today we will explore leprosy or Hansen's disease. First I will tell you what it is, second I will tell you where it came from, and lastly I will tell you how this disease affects the body. With leprosy in mind, let's talk about what this disease is. Leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease, is an infection caused by the slow-growing bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae. This right here is the bacteria that causes it. The CDC says that leprosy takes so long to find out the source of the disease because of the slow-growing nature of the bacteria and the long period of time it takes to develop signs and symptoms. Scientists currently think that the spread of the disease happens between people when a person who has the disease sneezes or coughs and a healthy person breathes in the droplets of fluid containing the bacteria. Leprosy changed in 1813 to Hansen's disease because of the Norwegian scientist Gerard Henrik Amerer Hansen, who discovered the Mycobacterium leprae as the cause of the illness. Now that we have defined what leprosy is, let us move on to where it came from. According to the history of leprosy, the disease is said to have originated in Africa and spread with the flow of migration. Therefore, the disease traveled out of Africa to India, between Africa and the Middle East, and Europe, and then from Central Asia and the Middle East. Leprosy came to Europe from both West and East Africa. The earliest presence in England was established by the archaeology of skeletons from the 14th century AD, which were excavated from a Romana British cemetery between 1966 and 1973. However, leprosy began to decline in Europe between the 14th and 16th centuries. In Southeast Asia, archaeological findings of skeletal remains of a middle-aged man found from the 2nd millennium BC showed the changes of characteristics of leprosy in India. This finding showed that leprosy existed in this region at least 4,000 years ago, being spread around trade routes through East Africa and India. While this region has a quarter of the world's population, and it has the newest cases of leprosy that still occur every year. In the U.S., however, the cases are not as common, with only 150 people diagnosed each year. In the U.S., it is believed that armadillos are naturally infected with the bacteria that causes leprosy in people. Here is a chart that the World Health Organization put out in 2018 that shows you the numbers across the globe. Now that we have discussed leprosy, what leprosy is and where it came from, finally we can talk about what effects it has on the body. Leprosy affects the skin, and it affects the skin in many ways. Damaged skin from the disease may be discolored and is usually flat, numb, and lighter than the skin around. Leprosy may cause the skin to develop growths or nodules on the skin. It may cause the skin to be stiff, thick, or even dry. It can also cause painless swelling or lumps on the face and earlobes. It can also cause a loss of eyelashes and eyebrows. Leprosy also causes damage to the nerves. When nerves are damaged, it may cause a person to have numbness of the affected areas of the skin. It causes muscle weakness or paralysis, especially in the hands and feet. The nerve damage can cause a person to have enlarged nerves, especially around the elbow, the knee, and the neck. When facial nerves are damaged, it can cause eye problems such as blindness. A person's nose can also be affected by leprosy. This type of damage is called mucous membrane issues. These issues include stuffy nose or nosebleeds and can also cause saddle nose, which is a deformity to the nose because of the damage to the nasal septum. In conclusion, leprosy can be terrible for the body, but can be cured if found and diagnosed early. Leprosy caused by the Mycobacterium leprae is a skin condition that came to and from many different places as a result of migration. It can have many different effects on the body, like skin damage, nerve damage, and nose damage. Many of us nowadays are going into the medical field, and this is a great thing to know and remember just in case we ever come across it in the future. While we do not see leprosy anymore, this is still diagnosed across the world daily. People who have leprosy do not just struggle with having the disease. They struggle because of the disease, meaning that people are viewed differently, shunned, and stripped of their rights because they have the disease.